Well, all new tonight, an Indiana man was shot by Secret Service in Washington, D.C. after brandishing a gun outside the White House. Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Jose Alonso. In a statement, the Secret Service says they were contacted by local police about a man who was suicidal that may have been traveling to the nation's capital from Indiana. According to the statement, they found the man's vehicle parked near the White House around midnight last night. The statement went on to say they saw the man nearby, and when an officer approached, the man brandished a gun. According to the Secret Service, a confrontation took place and shots were fired by officers. The man was taken to a hospital where his condition is unknown. No Secret Service personnel were injured. And here back at home, a suspected MS-13 gang member was arrested after Clarksville police officers responded to a stabbing last night. The suspect is facing charges for attempted murder and what the department is calling a targeted attack. The stabbing happened on Blackiston Mill Road and Marlowe Drive. The victim was taken to a hospital with serious injuries, but is expected to survive. Officers were able to identify the suspect's car, which led to the arrest. We reached out to Police Chief Nathan WHAS, who says they plan to release more information tomorrow. And a devastated Kentucky family is still looking for answers after a man lost his life earlier this week. Wednesday morning, Danny Scott Atwell was found dead after being hit by a car on the 9,000 block of Dixie Highway. Authorities say the vehicle fled the scene. WHAS11's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Aspen Hester spoke with the family, still grieving their loss.
Let's see, who didn't know Scott?
51-year-old Danny Atwell, also known as Scott.
Everybody actually loved him. He really did.
His family is left devastated after he was hit and killed Wednesday morning on Dixie Highway in the Waverly Hills neighborhood. When officers arrived, he was already dead and the car was gone.
And then when we get up here, it looks like this is where he was hit at. You can see parts of the car right here. Looks like this was probably his cigarettes.
His family at the spot where Scott lost his life for the first time. Is it hard to be right here?
Just a little, yes.
He is a staple in our efforts.
Scott was unhoused and working with South End Street Angels for a few years now.
But the family does deserve answers. And even though this individual is houseless, he still was a person. He mattered.
They're hoping someone comes forward and helps police find the person or people who took his life. Both the organization and Scott's family are now advocating for better lighting and police presence along this deadly stretch of road.
But I'm gonna have to forgive the person. I mean, God will deal with him or them, whoever.
A grieving family as they prepare to lay their friend, son, father, and uncle to rest. In Louisville, Clarice Shaley, WHAS11 on your side.
The family has started a GoFundMe to help organize a memorial service for Scott. If you'd wish to help them out, we have a link on our website. That's WHAS11.com, where you can donate. And LMPD is still following leads and are asking for the community's help. If you have any information on this case, call their tip line. That's 574-LMPD. And one of the men accused in a deadly shooting that took place at last year's Harvest Homecoming in New Albany is expected in court tomorrow. Shermichael Smith is facing multiple charges, including murder and attempted murder in connection to the shooting. According to court documents, police captured Smith's car on I-64, leaving the scene after gunshots disrupted the event. 3 people were shot that night, including 18-year-old Bryce Gerlach, a senior from Cordon Central, who was killed. Smith is expected in court for a final pretrial hearing tomorrow afternoon. And there's an effort from some rural Illinois counties to separate from the state and join Indiana. At least 3 organizations are pushing for the change in order to separate from Chicago. Some of those organizations in Illinois say that the rural counties don't feel equally represented in the legislature because Chicago controls all the political power. This is in thanks to the city's large population. Indiana lawmakers are now responding by advancing a bill that could start state-level talks.
This is a chance to raise our hand and tell people, look, we're awful proud to be Hoosiers. We think we've got a heck of a lot to offer. We feel a blessing to be a Hoosier from the great state of Indiana. Why wouldn't we want to give other people the opportunity and the consideration to join us?
House Bill 1008 passed out of the House and was referred to the Senate last week. If passed, the bill would create a commission to discuss the potential of adjusting the boundaries between the 2 states. And it was a chaotic rollout last week for President Donald Trump's proposed tariffs on some of our largest trading partners. After imposing tariffs of up to 25% on imports from Canada and Mexico, the president has now rescinded some of those tariffs for 1 month. But now more tariffs could be coming soon, as tomorrow. Trump wants to impose the steep tariffs on Canadian lumber and dairy. He says it's in response to the high tax Canada puts on the same American products to protect its own industries. The National Association of Home Builders says a 25% tariff on Canadian lumber would increase the cost of building a new single-family home by up to $10,000. Meanwhile, the president of the United Auto Workers Union says he believes the tariffs on our neighboring countries are an attempt to stop the bleeding.
There is no single issue in this country that has affected our economy and working class people and their jobs than NAFTA, the USMCA, and our trade laws, our broken trade system. And we're in a crisis mode.
Trump's administration says it's using these tariffs to launch a drug war against fentanyl coming across our borders, not a trade war with Canada and Mexico. Both countries are pushing back on these claims. Mexico says seizures of fentanyl declined 50% between last October and this January. Canada says less than 1% of the fentanyl seized in the U.S. comes across their border.